Hello everyone, it's story time again with Aunty Mal's English Corner. Today we are reading the book The Boy Who Cried Wolf. This story is about Sam, some sheep, the villagers, and maybe a wolf. Sam lived in a little village in the mountains. Every day he took the sheep from the village up the hill to a grassy meadow. He watched them from morning until evening, then he took them home again. Every day was the same. Sam was lonely and he was so bored. All his friends were down in the village. He tried talking to the sheep, but they didn't have much to say. "Nobody ever comes up here," moaned Sam. "Nothing ever happens." One day, he had an idea. "I could make something happen," he says. He ran down the hill to the village. "A wolf!" he shouted. "A wolf has come out of the forest!" Everyone ran up the hill with him. Puffing and panting, they reached the meadow. Of course, there was no wolf. The sheep were quietly eating their grass. The villagers were angry, but Sam just laughed. A few days later, Sam was bored again. He ran down the hill to the village. "A wolf!" he shouted. "A wolf has come out of the forest! Come quickly!" Some people didn't believe him, but most ran up the hill to see. Puffing and panting, they reached the meadow. Of course, there was no wolf. The sheep were quietly eating their grass. Everyone was very angry, but Sam just laughed. A week later, Sam was bored again. He ran down the hill to the village. Most people didn't believe him this time. Just a few ran up the hill. Puffing and panting, they reached the meadow. Of course, there was no wolf. The sheep were quietly eating their grass. Now everyone was furious. Sam laughed and laughed. A few days later, a wolf did come out of the forest. Sam was terrified. He ran down to the village as fast as he could. "Help! Please help!" Nobody believed him. Sam begged them to come with him. "You have to help me." This time, they just laughed at him. In the end, Sam had to go back up the hill all alone. The wolf had killed some of the sheep. The rest had run away. Sam stayed in the meadow until it was dark. Finally, the villagers came to find him. "Our sheep! No!" "I told you." "Why didn't you believe me?" he asked. "You always told lies before," they said. "I'm sorry. I've learned my lesson. Never again," said Sam. And that's the end of the story. If we talk about the story, it's one of Aesop's fables. The Boy Who Cried Wolf, the name of this book, is one of Aesop's fables. These are a collection of short stories first told in ancient Greece around 4,000 years ago. Nobody knows exactly who Aesop was, but the stories are still popular today, and they are known all around the world. So what's the moral of the story? That no one believes liars even when they tell the truth. So you should always be truthful. And that's the end of the story. Hope you enjoyed it. Do stay with Aunty Mal's English Corner for more stories like this. Goodbye.